Toronto, Canada. How are you, ladies?
Hi,
Hi,
good. How are
good.
you?
I'm great. Great to see you. Congratulations on the series. I watched the entire thing. It was freaking hilarious. I really needed this, so I thank you. I bow down to you.
Oh, we're
Thank
so
you for
glad to
saying
hear
that.
that. Thank you.
Listen, Gemma, let's start with you because I a lot of people. Well, I mean, I know that the books were popular. I was not aware of it, seeing how I'm not a young adult anymore. Maybe that's why it wasn't on my radar. But my goodness, when you dove into these books, what kind of set you off to think this is going to make a great series?
So I found the books when I was on the subway in New York City, and I saw a young woman reading My Lady Jane, very close to her face, and I bought it and read it without knowing anything about it, and just fell completely in love with the tone of voice and the premise right away. I was obsessed with Lady Jane as a teenager, so was Meredith,
Yeah.
and the chance to rewrite her story was it was too exciting to pass up. I clasped it to my chest. I remember doing this and thinking, I know exactly how this needs to work. And then convincing everybody else that they needed to make a action adventure, feminist, romantic comedy, drama, historical fantasy show. What's the next step?
That's a
Yeah, yeah, just
quite a
not a
list.
tall order or anything
I
like
don't
that.
know.
No, of course not. But Meredith, when you start to dive into something like that, and when you start to talk about, when Gemma says how extensive this was from the sets and the costumes and the cast and on and on and on, um, were you a little nervous? Like, tell me a little bit about diving into this yourself.
Well, the second that I read Gemma's pilot, I fell in love with the tone, and then I read and her sharp wit and just brilliant mind. And then I read the book, fell in love with the book. But like Gemma, I've always been obsessed with Lady Jane Grey.
Yeah.
And throughout my entire career as a writer and wanting to bring her story to life as well. We knew that it was going to be a big, ambitious show. We knew that we would need beautiful castles, beautiful costumes, but we also knew that at the center of it was going to be this really important and interesting story about a young woman coming into power that was going to ground all of those elements.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Now I want to start talking about, let's start about Emily Bader, because I think, first of all, breakout role for her. She is just fantastic. I had no idea she was not British. She
No one
was,
did.
No one
No one
did.
did. We had her on set. The crew found out about 7 weeks in that she wasn't British and did not believe us.
And then
are
she,
you
and then she
kidding?
did her, and then she
No.
switched into her American accent, and they were
Yes.
blown away.
Yeah.
I,
She is extraordinary.
so,
I think she
okay,
watched Pride
so
and Prejudice once a week since she was born, and that probably helped.
yeah, probably. Listen, I watched Bridgerton and Downton Abbey. It doesn't help me much, but that's what it is. But I have, okay, so let's talk about Emily. So what did you see, Gemma, what did you see in her? Not aside from the fact that she's absolutely stunning and the camera loves her and she's just,
Yeah.
she's wonderful. But what was it? Because I'm sure there were a lot of young ladies who auditioned for
We saw dozens and dozens and dozens of young women. And in the end, what clinched it for Emily is she just had this intelligent spark and a fire in her and an innate, not just likability, but lovability. I love her. I would love,
Yeah.
I've watched her on screen every day for 2 years, pretty much, and I would do it again for the rest of my life. I think she is extraordinary.
We never get
Yeah.
sick of her face.
No,
No, no, no, no. I mean, she's wonderful. She's just wonderful, and the chemistry between them two is lovely. I mean, how hard was it casting this? Finding the right people, finding the right comedic tone as well. I mean, obviously, when you have a Rob Brydon, you're gonna have hours and hours and hours of bloopers, no question. But everybody just it works so well. Meredith, you want to speak to that?
Absolutely. So when we found Edward Blumel, we arranged a chemistry test between Emily and Edward on Zoom. And Emily was testing with a number of different actors, and the sparks were there immediately between these two on Zoom. And
was
so
insane.
we looked at each other and we said, well, we texted each other because we were also on Zoom and said naturally, and we said, look, if you have this kind of chemistry with somebody on Zoom, what's it going to be like in real life? And it's electric, it's sparkling, it's dynamic, it's got that iconic thing that Beatrice and Benedict have, and Darcy and Elizabeth, where For them, fighting is foreplay, and you can't get enough of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we love that for them. Edward has a very good story about when he was thinking about the role. He approached this as, his version of the Heath Ledger role in A Knight's Tale. He has that intelligence, he has that wit, and he's very emotionally grounded. I mean, he is an extraordinary Guildford. He's perfect.
Oh yeah, he is perfect. I love watching the two of them together. And also, I have to say, I personally don't think it would be so bad to be an Ethian. I don't know. I think that there are some major advantages to be able to turn yourself into an animal. So, Gemma, I mean, I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but I want to know, because for me, I think I would like to be a bird. I always envy birds flying in the sky, go wherever they want, fly south for the winter. I mean, they got the best lives, right? So, Gemma, what about for you? What would you want to turn into?
I think I'd also like to be a bird. We have a rule where we wanted you to only turn into the animals that were native to the country you were born in. So I was born in Australia, so I could be a kangaroo.
You could be. Yeah. Think of that, of being in a pouch, getting into your mom's pouch and stuff. I think that's
very cozy.
Yeah.
Also,
very cozy.
Really strong.
Really strong.
Really strong. Can fight.
Yes.
Yeah, pugilistic. Notoriously pugilistic. Not it.
Like my good
And Meredith?
Well, I'm from Colorado, in the United
okay.
States. So perhaps I would be a bear.
Yeah.
Like, not to spoil our show, some other people may or may not be a bear. Perhaps a deer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perhaps, I don't know, a little mouse.
It
Just depends on the day. Oh, yeah, we do. It could be a mountain lion.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Eat climbers.
Oh man, yeah, it's fun. It makes you think, honestly, when you're watching this. Okay, so Gemma, I want to go back to shooting all of these scenes and all of the, like, with such a huge cast, so many sets. Like, I mean, how do you wrap your mind around putting this whole show together and making it work so wonderfully? It just, to me, it seems seamless. I'm sure behind the scenes.
We had incredible support from our EP Sarah Bradshaw, our EP Laura McDonald, and everybody at Amazon.
Our designer, Will Hughes Jones,
Exactly.
Our costume designer, Stephanie Colley.
Someone said to me, this is my first show running job, and another showrunner said to me, your job is to know exactly what you want, and it's everyone else's job to know how. And that really was our job. We had a vision, and we were so fortunate to have so many brilliant people help us execute it.
Help us externalize our brains.
Yeah, because it's not like I said, it's probably was not an easy show to put together, but like I said, it just seamless. And the other thing about it too is, although it's hilarious and it has so many themes, it deals with privilege and sexism, classism, persecution, all this stuff, things that are going on in the world today. But the way that you ladies, everyone tackles it in this show, it gives us the opportunity to laugh, and Meredith, was that something that was, important in terms of getting that across?
It was really, really important. This is, at the end of the day, it's a swashbuckling, romantic, funny drama comedy. I mean, it's so many it's fantasy, so many things, but underpinning it, we always wanted it to say something important about the world that we actually live in today.
Yeah.
And that was really important. Yeah, that was something that we always had in our minds.
But it was also very important to us to never become a polemic.
Yeah.
It has to be entertaining above all else. We don't lead the theme, but the theme is all the way through it, because you're right what you're thinking about, and we're always thinking about that stuff.
Yeah, sharp-tongued, warm-hearted, intelligent optimism.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and also there's other, aside from, I want to talk about Rob Brydon, because having somebody like him on set who is just such a comedic wit, and so quick. Do you allow him to imprise and do his own thing? Like, how much of that was
him in particular?
Genuine living legend, Rob Brydon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where his mind goes, you want to follow.
We would just keep the cameras rolling and let him go. And the only problem really was the crew laughing so much that it interrupt takes. I got a technique where I hold my nose when I'm laughing too much, and then I start crying with laughter. He's brilliant.
Yeah, he is brilliant. And who surprised me? I think Dominic Cooper. Honestly, I've interviewed him many times over the years, but always for, very serious films. And for him to kind of let loose like this, What was it like, having him on set?
Well, Dominic is so funny in this role. And that was something that all of our actors needed to be. They needed to be incredibly strong, brilliant, dramatic actors, with which Dom completely is, but also needed to have this sharp, incredible comedic timing, which he also has. And so he can do it all. Yeah. And we were so fortunate to have him.
Yeah. In the edit suite, we would be watching Dominic takes and he would just do a look and we'd crack up.
Yeah.
We have to find that look somewhere.
Exactly. We were like, we know he did that look, find that look.
Yeah. No, like I said, everybody just made me laugh so hard. It was just great performances from everyone.
Okay, there's also one more thing. I think a lot of the performances, we had this director, Jamie Babbitt, who was our producing director. So she did 5 of 8 episodes, and she set the tone because she's always ready to play. She's always ready to do one more take. She always does different takes to get different flavors. And I think that gave the actors a huge amount of confidence and freedom. Yeah. So they just played, and the result is the result.
Yeah, I was so excited to see that she was directing a lot of the episodes because she's so fantastic. Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, really fun. I was just wondering, just before we wrap it up, there's so many fun scenes, so many things. I was like cringing at the betting ceremony. I mean, clearly, ew, like really, like just crack me up. So Gemma, what was maybe the scene you were maybe most looking forward to, without giving too much away, but something that excited you that you wanted to see come to fruition?
You mean from the scripts to the screen? I was very excited. I was very excited about the tavern scene in the pilot.
Okay.
Because it has an awful lot of, it's got character introduction for Archer, it's got a big fight scene, it's got the bear change, and it has that dynamic first meeting between Jane and Guilford, and I got goosebumps every single take. I just think it's wonderful. They did so well.
Yeah. Meredith, how about you?
Jane and Guilford have a fight that becomes something much more in the woods in episode 103. I also was so excited about the shocking moment. I don't know how much we can say. How much should we say? The shocking moment in the pilot where someone very well turns into something very mind-blowing.
Yes.
And it is such a rug pull. And watching that come to life was incredible. We used where we could, and mostly all real animals. Mm-hmm. So that was a real.
Whoa.
Animal. Yeah. We didn't use a bear.
Didn't use a bear, and in the 108 bird scene, they're not all real birds. But other than that, all the animals are real, and it was very important for us for the transitions. And this is a spoiler, probably not till after launch, to feel as elemental and tactile and real as possible.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of CGI on television right now, and
of course,
think, look at CGI, it's great, it's fantastic. We wanted this to feel more like the DeLorean and Back to the Future.
Well, it felt to me like you just shocked me when you told me that most of the animals were real. I had no idea. Because okay, so how do you even control that? That's insane.
A lot of takes.
With a lot of patience, a lot of takes, a lot of talented animals.
Talented animals
with great agents.
With great agents.
No, but great animal handlers. Yeah. A whole team of people, like everything else on the show. It's a group effort. We were so fortunate to have some of the best collaborators on the planet.
Yeah, really. Like I said, ladies, it really is so much fun. I think it's going to be a huge hit, and there is a cliffhanger possible at the end there. Is there any discussion? Maybe another season of this?
There's hope. We hope.
You always cross your fingers. Yeah. We're just looking at season 1 and hoping that the audience loves it as much as we do.
Yeah, well, I loved it. I'm getting the word out there for sure. And then Meredith, just on a personal note, the boys, my God, thank you for bringing that to Toronto. They that show, man.
Thank you so much. The boys is just the best, and season 4 is kicking ass. I just love all those guys so much.
Yeah, what is it about that show that just we can't stop? Like, honestly, what do you think it is?
I think it's a combination of how funny and entertaining it is and how witty and incisive it is. Its satire is really, really, really trenchant and cutting, and it pulls no punches.
Yes.
And that's so important, I think. It's something that you want to watch because it's so entertaining, but it has something really specific to say. And that was really inspiring for us on our show as well, because we have the same ethos.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think a My Lady Jane and the boys mashup. What do you think? Like that would be kind
Like
of
a
fun.
Barbenheimer?
We were like boys and Jane and
Boys and
Yeah, I mean, possibilities are endless, ladies. Thank you so much for your time today. I really,
Thank you.
really
Thank you
appreciate it.
so
Again,
much.
love the series so much. It's so much fun. Really, thank you for it, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.